People, Chris Hayes here, Sickness to Strength. And this is Operation Fat Thor. We are on day number 10. It is Saturday, May 16th. So, we had a little bit of a mix up the last couple days. I had some friends come in, which kind of threw the schedule off just a hair. Totally fine though, we're gonna hop right back in. So today is gonna be an anterior based day. Again, that means chest, biceps, active shoulder work as far as the larger movement, and then quad dominant movements as well. We haven't changed up the variables too much this week. We're still sticking with 3 sets of 12. We are gonna bump the intensity just a hair. Since the nervous system does seem to be starting to fire a little bit more, all I'm looking to do is push the weight a little bit more aggressively. That doesn't mean that I'm trying to go to absolute failure yet by any means. It just means that as the body's waking up, give it the stimulus that it's ready for, okay? Now this is very easy to overdo, so please be cognizant. Again, this is my program and these are the weights that I'm using for myself, so please modify for yourself as needed. Again, this program is doable for anybody and it is a full body, it is all encompassing, but it is still tailored for my goals and my body composition and what I'm looking to achieve, which may be slightly different than you. So modify for yourself as needed. Now let's make it quick. Let's see what we got today. So major movements for today are gonna be the back squat. We've got flat bench again, just so we can go back, and we wanna keep touching on these major movements so that we can see what our progression is, and we can see how the weights continue to go up and the body continues to adapt. So seated shoulder press is gonna be the larger movement for that. And now let's talk about what our minor movements are to help supplement those major ones as well. So minor movements today, we're gonna be using TRX a little bit. If you don't have one, that's okay. You can find other ways to rig something up that's similar. If not, they're reasonable to pick up online. And it's a great product, something you could use in quarantine right now that you will get a lot of use out of. So we're gonna be doing single leg squats with TRX just to get a little bit of extra volume on the quads after we hit our squats. We've got chest flies, low to high. So we're gonna be doing a banded variant with that. A lot of people are used to cable flies. We're just gonna switch it up and we're gonna make use of a band instead today. And that is gonna be single arm. So then we've got chin ups, which we'll see how those go. I'm hoping to get sets of 12. If not, I am gonna modify with the TRX so that you can see what that looks like as well. And you can use a bar or something else just to try and get a similar type of result that I do with that. And then plate curls. So that's what we got today as far as movements. Cardio is gonna be LSD. So when I say LSD, that doesn't mean that I'm telling you to go out and consume any drugs by any means, your choice, but LSD in this reference means long, slow distance. Gonna be a lot of quad heavy work today, so I'm gonna get out and go for a hike with one of my friends. That's gonna cover it for me. I would just recommend finding something that you can do upwards of 30 minutes at a very low to moderate pace. Nothing specific, we're not looking for any sort of major intensity today at this point. So, other than that, I think we got everything covered. Sets and reps, 3 sets of 12. The intensity for this week is gonna be bumped up just a hair, so 70 to 85%. I wanna leave a couple reps left in that gas tank at the end of the sets, but I still wanna be pushing hard. So let's get into it.
Okay, one of our first major movements for the day, we've got the back squat. So let's break down some good simple cues. First thing I want is feet should be slightly beyond shoulder width unless you're doing parallel stance squats, in which case you want your feet directly underneath your knees, but feet slightly wider than shoulder width. You want a good bracing in those lower abs, nice control of your spine, good neutral posture, no rounding in the low back. I'm focusing on keeping tension, like I said, in those lower abdominals, but as I'm reaching back, tension should mainly be in the glutes. And then on the way up as well, that's actually what I'm focusing in on and keying in on. It's very easy to get too anterior focused and be out in the quads, so really key in on using those glutes, squeezing on the way up, driving through and finishing strong. Onward to the plate curl. Now, we just want good open shoulder and postural mechanics, keeping those shoulder blades set back and down, Nice large chest. You want to try and minimize internal rotation as much as possible. And the good thing about a plate curl or a variation of this is that we're getting a strong isometric contraction throughout. So bring those elbows slightly forward, good form, chest open. Next, we've got flat bench. Main thing we want to focus in on is scapular retraction, keeping the shoulder blades pinned down to the bench, slight arch in the back so we have more access into the chest, and I want to be hitting 90 degrees at the bottom. Big strong squeeze on the way up, drive through those triceps, and big finish. Next, we're on to single leg squats. As you can see, I'm using the TRX. So main thing we want to key in on is driving back, sitting back and down. I'm actually focused on working my depth a little bit more here and driving this a little bit more into the quads than I would traditionally in a normal squat. So work your range here as you've got a little bit of assistance if you can set up a towel or a TRX, something like that. So good form, same form as you would in a normal squat. Drive back, get back in those glutes. If you want to change your range and get a little bit lower into it, I would recommend playing with that as well. Okay, you've got the underarm chest fly, which is, we're really working on trying to get that lower pec activation, keeping that chest nice and tall. Scap's in a good position, but I'm really keyed in on finishing strong and finishing hard at that in range and getting a good squeeze. Next, we have the seated shoulder press, and main thing I'm focusing on here is range, but also scapular stability again. So shoulder blades pinned back to the bench, nice tall chest as you go, and you want to work through as much range as you can. We don't want to overstretch it, and I also don't want to come too low into the range where I'm stressing my shoulder out of that bottom position as well. Lastly, we have got pull-ups and a variant with the TRX as well. Key things to stay focused in on, guys, here is what are you doing with your chest, where is your range at, and how aggressive are you with your swing. So you want to make sure that you've got good control. You want to try and get as much range out of the lats as you can, and try and keep a good stable shoulder base in your scaps as well. So staying up nice and tall. As you can see, I moved to a modified movement here, so do what's appropriate for you.
All right, guys, day 10 in the books. Felt good, felt strong. Definitely right, the nervous system's starting to wake back up. I had to push myself pretty hard. My battery's dying, so I had to rush this thing a little bit. That's okay, but that being said, it was a really good workout. Make sure that intensity is appropriate for you guys. There's no way I should have been trying to do chin-ups today, so I did a little modification with the TRX. Modify is appropriate, guys. Even though I've been doing this a long time, when you've been laying around for 6-8 weeks straight, not doing anything but drinking and eating bad food, this is what happens. So it's okay wherever you're at today, guys. Push yourself appropriately. If you're in a bad space, that's okay too. Forgive yourself. Let's move on. Make today a good day. I hope you're all well. Enjoy this thing. Push yourselves the right way. And just try and get those other pieces to fall in line, right, guys? The diet, the hydration, the sleep. As many of those things as you can control, the faster the results will come. All right, God bless. Stay up, stay strong. The war goes on.